Jeepers creepers, Scully. I don't know if you heard me the first time. Holy shit. I'm going to change hats here. I want to wear this one. It's a little less constricting. It's a little less like a sphincter on my head. This one here. This is Mr. Jackpot's hat. He's wearing Papa Smurf hat back at the studio. In this Mr. Rogers on psychedelic Mr. Rogers show we're putting on here. It's what I always wanted to do. So what the fuck? I mean, what the f? Sorry, dude, enough with the. Seriously, dude. If you want these people to listen to you and think that you're legit, you gotta clean up your language. All right, I know. Clean it up though, like it's not dirt. Like, what are you fucking hot, dude? I know. I'm sorry. So, Patty, here at Annie's bookshop. Patty did not have a copy of The Shining, but she ordered one for me. 10 days at the latest, she said. 10 days right now seems like, to me, the way things are going, that's like 20 years from now. So I got this. This stuck right out to me. I saw the movie. Now I'm going to read the little book. I'm going to start reading it to you out loud right now. After I finish this piece of my figment of my imagination bar. Raspberry. Don't talk with your mouth, little dude. Okay. But guess what Patty had playing on the radio in there? She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Girl loves me. Yep. Stardust is real, everybody, in case you were wondering. If you want to save yourself from having to go pay $15 to read this and you want to hear me read it on my channel, you can go back and look at I think it was Saturday. Day before I went to Palmer. And found it. Love will overcome. Love will overcome, Scully. Thy will be done. We started reading this earlier, so now we got our full plate of books here in the bookhouse. Or the studio is the bookhouse, but my car became the church. And I worshipped her in silence there. In a moment, peace came over me, and the one who was beating my heart appeared. This distance is not doable in these bodies of clay, my brother. The distance makes me uncomfortable. Guess it's natural to feel this way. Before we start reading, please join me in about 5 minutes of silence, okay? Thank you. If you don't want to do that, of course, you can just click ahead. April 6th, 2022. It's a little afternoon or noonish. locked into these bodies? Are we anything at all? Let's hold out for something sweeter. Spread your wings and fly. This distance is dreaming. Be there tonight. Let him come into the city. Let him find his lucky penny. Let him put it in his pocket and shake it all around. I've been to pretty buildings, all in search of you. I have lit all the candles, sat in all the pews. Jean-Dominique Bauby. A wistful... I'm not pronouncing that right, probably. Sorry. This is an international bestseller. I purchased it today at Annie's Bookstop at 65 James Street in Worcester, Mass. 508-796-5613 at 11:10. According to her, Annie hasn't set her clock ahead yet, so 12:10 p.m. My order number was 8255. And the book was a total of $6 plus 38-cent tax, and I paid with 7 owls and got 62 pence back. Have a nice day. Please come again. You want a blueberry? Want some deep river barbecue chips? There's nothing animal in here, is there? Or too toxic? No. So I'm going to have a couple of these before I start reading the book to you. These are best by August. Dude, don't talk with food in your mouth, okay? I was just gonna say something, but I wasn't allowed. She told me not to talk with food in my mouth, and then I lost my fucking thought. So I don't think it was anything that significant. It's hard to tell now, though. Annie's Bookstop of Worcester, 65 James Street. Do you want me to read the? No, okay. I won't read the little review things. Jean-Dominique Bauby, B-A-U-B-Y. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that properly. It's French, right? The editor-in-chief, yes, of French L. Jean-Dominique Bauby suffered a stroke that resulted in locked-in syndrome when he was 43 years old. He died just 2 days after the French publication of this book. The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. A memoir of life in death, Jean-Dominique Bauby. Translated from the French by Jeremy Legat. Vintage International. Vintage Books, a division of Random House Incorporated, New York. Copyright 1997. First Vintage International Edition, July 1998. I've seen the movie, like I said. I don't know if you've seen the movie or if you've already read this. For my children, Theophile and Celeste, and my deepest gratitude, that Theophile means love of God, right? Philo, Phi love, Theo God. Like philosophy is philosophy, love of wisdom. Sophia, wisdom goddess. And my deepest gratitude to Cloud Mendable, whose all-important contribution to these pages will become clear as my story unfolds. Prologue. We'll read the prologue for now. That'll be, and then I'll drive back to the studio and do, who knows what I'll do. Who knows what'll happen next? Because it's all different now. I said it was interesting, my little snippet of talk with Patty before I left there, after giving her my name and number for to call me when she gets the copy of The Shining in. The Shining by Stephen King. I told her I'd seen the movie, and I'm overdue to read the book, of course. And Stanley Kubrick did the movie, and Stephen King didn't like it apparently. I don't think Stephen King likes me too much either, because well, I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm not going to talk about that at all. Maybe I won't even get that book. Huh. So I said to what Annie and I talked about before I left was, I mean, not Annie. I mean Patty in Annie's. Patty, who runs this particular Annie's bookstop. Apparently there's more locations of Annie's bookstop. And we're not going to St. Anne's today because of these conditions. I'm not going to get all this. I got to get a new umbrella at some point. Apparently, maybe. Maybe not. Like I said, I don't know if this show's going to be canceled or, if it's going to go onto a different platform, get an upgrade. I think it's possible. Or likely, maybe. So I said to Patty, unfortunately for most, the real blissful and juicy falling in love is falling in love with love itself. And that you need, if you want to ever really have the real thing with a complementary opposite, a partner, where it's balanced and it's an equal exchange, interchange, then it looks to me like it only works if you fall in love first, with love first, and with your own heart. And then she was in agreement with me and said, yep, and you can't fix anyone else either. And she said that, I could tell that she was saying that, talking from experience. She's probably like 70 or 60s, I don't know. But she's really like this archetype of the perfect character. It's like for the bookshop owner, like the mystical, like the deceptively plain and common bookshop owner who's really a kind of underneath it, underneath the mask, a magical agent and guide. He or she doesn't even realize that his or herself in the story. It's like a freaking weird like Muppet puppet show that I'm living here. Like Jim Morrison. Through the frayed curtain at my window, a wan glow announces the break of day. My heels hurt. My head weighs a ton, and something like a giant invisible diving bell holds my whole body prisoner. My room emerges slowly from the gloom. I linger over every item. Photos of loved ones, my children's drawings, posters, the little tin cyclist sent by a friend the day before the Paris-Roubaix bike race. I probably pronounced that wrong, sorry. I'll learn French if you want. And the IV pole hanging over the bed where I've been confined these past 6 months like a hermit crab dug into his rock. Jeez. Imagine that. Not just being locked down or, locked into your house, but into your own mind and body. Nightmare. No need to wonder very long where I am, or to recall that the life I once knew was snuffed out Friday, the 8th of December last year. Up until then, I had never even heard of the brain stem. I've since learned that it is an essential component of our internal computer, the inseparable link between the brain and the spinal cord, the brain tree and the trunk and the roots, the limbs, arms and legs, the nervous system, autonomic, self-governing. What is that self governing the nervous system? I was brutally introduced to this vital piece of anatomy when a cerebrovascular accident took my brainstem out of action. Was it really an accident? Are there accidents? In the past, it was known as a quote-unquote massive stroke, and you simply died. But improved resuscitation techniques have now prolonged and refined the agony. You survive, but you survive with what is so aptly known as quote-unquote locked-in syndrome. Paralyzed from head to toe, the patient, his mind intact, is imprisoned in his own body, unable to speak or move. In my case, blinking my left eyelid is my only means of communication. Of course, the party chiefly concerned is the last to hear the good news. I myself had 20 days of deep coma and several weeks of grogginess and somnolence before I truly appreciated the extent of the damage. I did not fully awake until the end of January. When I finally surfaced, I was in room 119 of the Naval Hospital at Berck-sur-Mer on the French Channel coast. The same room 119 infused now with the first light of day from which I write. An ordinary day. At 7, the chapel bells begin again to punctuate the passage of time, quarter hour by quarter hour. After their night's respite, my congested bronchial tubes once more begin their noisy rattle. My hands lying curled on the yellow sheets are hurting, although I can't tell if they are burning hot or ice cold. To fight off stiffness. What is it, hot? No, it's cold, damn cold. To fight off stiffness, I instinctively stretch, my arms and legs moving only a fraction of an inch. It is often enough to bring relief to a painful limb. My diving bell becomes less oppressive, and my mind takes flight like a butterfly. There is so much to do. You can wander off in space or in time, set out for Tierra del Fuego or for King Midas's court. You can visit the woman you love, slide down beside her and stroke her still sleeping face. I touched your face. You can build castles in Spain, steal the golden fleece, discover Atlantis, realize your childhood dreams and adult ambitions. Enough rambling. My main task now is to compose the first of these bedridden travel notes so that I shall be ready when my publisher's emissary arrives to take my dictation, letter by letter. In my head, I churn over every sentence 10 times. Delete a word, add an adjective, and learn my text by heart, paragraph by paragraph. 7:30. The duty nurse interrupts the flow of my thoughts. Following a well-established ritual, she draws the curtain, checks tracheostomy and drip feed, and turns on the TV so I can watch the news. Right now, a cartoon celebrates the adventures of the fastest frog in the West. And what if I asked to be changed into a frog? What then? That's the first chapter. We'll save that for later. It was in December 1995 that the 43-year-old editor of French Elle suffered a massive stroke that left him completely and permanently paralyzed, a victim of locked-in syndrome. Where once he had been renowned for his gregariousness and wit, Bauby now found himself imprisoned in an inert body, able to communicate only by blinking his left eye. The miracle is that in doing so, he was able to compose this stunningly eloquent memoir, which was published 2 days before his death in 1996 and went on to become a #1 bestseller across Europe. The second miracle is that the diving bell and the butterfly is less a record of affliction than it is a celebration of the liberating power of consciousness. In a voice that is by turns wistful and mischievous, angry and sardonic, Bauby tells us what it is like to spend a day with his children, to imagine lying in bed beside his lover, to conjure up the flavor of delectable meals even as he is fed by tube. Most of all, this triumphant book allows us to follow the flight of an indomitable spirit and to share its exultation at its own survival. And Oliver Sacks said it's a book of surpassing beauty, a testament to the freedom and vitality and delight of the human mind. And on that note, I'll see you soon when I see you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.